How long have you been homeless?
Since like 2004.
Mm. Right,
I mean, I haven't
reason?
been totally living behind the dumpster since then. I mean, I've had places here and there where I got to sleep on this couch and this garage and that kind of stuff. But as far as ever having my own place again, I haven't had one since 2004.
About 2.5 months.
2.5 months, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
This time or
This is the only time.
the only
Lived here?
We have been here about 14 months total.
Okay.
We started off in emergency
Right.
and we lived there for almost 6 months.
Right.
We shared one bottom bunk, myself and my daughter,
Right.
and one tote because they were so packed at the time.
Wow.
And so that was a little uncomfortable, but we were really grateful for a place to sleep.
Right.
I have lived here previously in the emergency shelter, but now this is my first time at transitional, and I moved in March 19th this year.
Since last November, so it's just over a year now that we've been here at the shelter.
How long have you been here?
I've been here, I got here September 10th, the day I got out of jail.
My options were to sleep in my car or come here to the shelter. So this is what I did. This is what I chose to do.
How long have you been homeless?
This time we're on and off.
This time.
Since August the 29th.
So, in throughout your life, how many times do you think you've been homeless?
3.
3 years total.
Right at 3 years.
You have a
Well,
car.
I have a car. I'm not technically homeless. I was staying with my friends, but I didn't want to jeopardize him, and probation was bugging that, so it disrupted. I don't want to get him kicked out.
This time around,
Yeah.
off and on the past 4 years.
I was 2 years homeless in Oregon.
In
Medford,
Oregon?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then I got my stuff together, went to school, and then my daughter called me from here. She needed me, so I'm here.
Wow. And you've been on the street for how long? 10 years. And do you prefer?
I like the streets.
You like the streets.
Yeah, I got you.
You end up on the street.
Well, we were in Minnesota, and my fiance lost her job, and jobs were on there, and took off. We went to Albuquerque and couldn't find anything there, and the shelters were drug dens. Decided to head over this way, and here we are still.
The shelters in Albuquerque were drug dens. Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
there was no sober living. They were dealing right out of the shelter. Heroin overdoses in bathrooms 30 feet away from us.
this is like the first shelter you ever been in?
No, I've been in some before.
Where, LA?
Yeah, LA, because of family fallout or drug usage. So.
So how do you compare this? So how long have you been there?
Since late September. Late September.
And this is the first time you've ever been homeless?
Yeah.
It is.
Nothing. But yet they don't know that I'm a journeyman in 4 different trades. I used to make $80,000 a year. But you know what? I seem to drink that away with drugs and alcohol. I've had 2 wives, 2 beautiful homes, car, the garage, motorcycle, the boat, all that shit that every man thinks he wants. When
I was in the restaurant business for years, and then I had a stroke, and I lost use of my left hand, and so you need your left hand to work.
Yeah.
If you were going to waitress.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
My house got foreclosed on, but while I was in the hospital. I knew it was getting foreclosed, but I didn't know the date, and I was in the hospital, and friends moved all my stuff into storage, and I got out and had nowhere to live.
So you ended up here.
I tried everywhere and ended up here.
Now, AB 109 is telling me they're going to give me a place, but they don't do it. I'm still been out of jail, so instead of freezing my ass, I've been drinking and smoking pot. Now I'm trying to get my ass in here so that way I don't do dope. I'm not cutting the muck, and if they see me trying to raise my hand to ask for help, then why aren't they actually helping? To me, that is an emergency. Somebody that's a drug addict and doesn't want to be on parole or probation no more is telling you, okay, I'm willing and submitting and wanting to go into your program, but you're not administering anything to help him. And what is he going to do? He's going to survive. You know, and it's not an excuse. That's just what we do.
Are you asking how you ended up being homeless?
Well, I went through some pretty crazy turmoil and ended up in a divorce. And when I was divorced, I really didn't want to go back to my parents' house. I didn't, and I really didn't have anywhere else to go. And so I came here. And I knew about this place because I had cooked and served here lots of times before.
Right.
And so I came here. And that's kind of how it started. And I've just been rebuilding my life since.
Well, my mom had an ex-husband who wasn't so nice, and then we lived here because, yeah.
There wasn't too many shelters that would take both of us in. They would either take just her or just me, and neither of us really wanted that. The shelter here, they allowed both of us to be around each other. It's a co-ed shelter, unlike down in Long Beach where they don't have any of those.
Because I've been in and out of jail for like the last 10 years. Gone to prison over drugs, not alcohol, but drugs and alcohol. And I wanted a different path. They say when you get out, don't go back to the same stomping grounds and stuff. So I thought about the shelter when I was in jail. I'd never been here because, again, I thought I was too good. My daughter came here, heard of like other people that's been here and stuff. And it's like a mini jail for me. It's got the bunk beds, it's got the totes like we have in jail. You learn rules, authority, and I didn't have that for a long time. The only time I ever did was when I was in custody.
I have to appreciate the fact that at night I have somewhere to go. I have a place to sleep at night. I have a roof over my head, a meal at night. So, that's taking the good with the bad. Obviously, this is not an ideal situation for anybody. This is a place, for me, it's a place of transition, and I think that everybody here is at a starting point. I think of this as like a starting point in life. So obviously, it's not an ideal living situation. No one wants to stay here forever, but I think it gives people the motivation they need to move forward in their lives and get themselves out of a rock bottom situation, which for me it feels like rock bottom. I feel sometimes that I'm hanging on by a thread.
My mental illness and the fact that I'm a drug addict.
And do you think that the reason that you're a drug addict is because of your mental illness?
That's part of the reason. The other reason is because I chose to use drugs and I liked them.
Right. Had to make that decision to live on the street was
Job and afford a place.
couldn't afford a place. Okay.
I lasted about 3 weeks and I became homeless.
I was married. I got divorced.
Right.
2 years ago. He took care of everything.
Yeah.
So when he went to prison, I lost everything. I spent 2 years on the street, and and it was my fault for staying down that long because I was a zombie. I just walked around, didn't do nothing. So
it's. So Kenny, how long were you homeless before you actually found a place to live?
Almost 13 years.
13 years on the street, and how long did it take for you to get SSI?
I got it immediately.
You got it right away?
Yeah, I come from a fairly wealthy family. They live all back east.
Right. Still, you got SSI, but then you decided that you didn't want to get a place. You'd rather live on the street for a while?
Yeah. Some cop buddies got me off the street. They found me.
And your friends?
With about a 9-inch beard, all ratted out.
Right.
Couldn't get enough money together for more than a beer at a time.
Right.
Anyway, they just suggested that I get off the streets, took me to this place, asked me one day, wrote a report and said, are you ready to get off the streets?
Uh-huh.
I just saw yes, and then they went on their merry way, came back like a week or two later and picked me up and took me home.
I don't know how to do it.
Don't be a pig. Don't be a whatever. I don't know what you call them, but I seen them before. And a bogarter. Don't bogart. Just get what you need and leave the rest for the other people. You know what I mean?
When my sister passed away, going on 5 years ago, it's a wake up call for me after the run I went on. Jails, institutions, and I knew what the next step was, and I didn't want to see it. So I stopped, but then I'd start and I'd stop. But every time I started again, it was worse. It was more. And so when I finally realized that I couldn't do it anymore, I went to a church, got a ticket to Santa Maria, called the men's home, said I'm on my way, and the next day I was in the home.
Well, my ex-girlfriend and I broke up, and I just gave her everything, so I had nothing. And so I ended up at the homeless shelter.
Friendship. Somebody that can relate to where I'm at, been where I'm at. Slept behind that dumpster, was soaking wet. But then the next day when this other guy didn't have a jacket, and he's freezing cold, and you got 2 jackets, motherfucker, take this jacket. You know what I mean? That's where your heart's at.
A week, a month, a year?
4 months at least.
4 months at least.
Yeah.
And they're going to let you stay?
I don't know if they're going to let me stay or not. I've already messed up twice. I don't know whether they'll let me stay or not. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it.
That's right.
I'm not worried about it now.
That's right.
I certainly hope they don't kick me out on the streets, but they do.
From usually the drugs and alcohol. But then the rest of the people are kind of like me in mental health issues. So, I save $100 a month in my savings. And by the time the 2 years is over, then I'll have a nice chunk of change.
Right.
And we can move.
That's great. To have that kind of plan is, it's sad because so many people don't have a plan and they don't know where they're going.
Yeah.
And then they just end up back either in jail or
same situations.
Back right back where they started.
Yeah.
We are planning to move to somewhere, but it's gonna be somewhere nice, I'm pretty sure. So, but I'm pretty sure she has a plan, but I'm not sure what it is.
I'm going to school. I'm a welding major at Allen Hancock College, and looking for some part-time work. That way I got the part-time work, school, welfare, and my ultimate goal is to get off welfare and have a full-time job and be able to get an apartment, get a car, get a house, get a better car, all that good stuff, the American dream.
I remembered, they say don't forget where you came from. And I remember I came from 2 wonderful parents. And I wanted to go back to how happy I was then. So God's got me here for a reason. And I asked him to lift the obsession from me, from using. And it has been lifted. And I'm spiritually connected this time. And without him, I'd be nothing. Or if I go back, I know I'll die. I can't even drink 1 beer because beer leads to other things. And I'm finally finding out who I am. How long have I been sober? I'm sober just for today.
Just for today.
Just for today. But I'll have 4 months on the 22nd. My plans from here are, because I have no contact with my dad and my daughter. And my plans from here are to get those lifted. And if it wasn't for my sister calling the cops on me and saving my life, I'd probably be dead right now. I know that God put messengers in my life throughout this, road, path, whatever. And just maybe get my own place one day, but I know he has me here for a reason. And if not, to go back home with my dad and be the daughter that I was meant to be for him 42 years ago.
Plans are right now to A, get a job, and B, move into a room. I mean, right now I would be happy with the room. I came from having a 3-bedroom house, 2 cars, living a normal life, to living here in the homeless shelter. And that's why I say it's like starting from ground zero. I'm at the starting point again. I have to rebuild my life, and it isn't so much about material possessions, because when I had all of that stuff, I wasn't happy. Happiness is something that you find within yourself, and being whole spiritually, mentally, mentally, emotionally, and physically, and that's what I'm working towards. So ultimate goal is wholeness within myself.
I'm going to a 1-year treatment rehab, the Bethel House in Santa Barbara. I need a long-term treatment, not just a short-term, so I can get help and change my addictive thinking and patterns, because I know I'm worth it. It took me a long time to realize that, but I'm ready. That's my plan.
Well, we plan on getting some jobs here real soon, and next tax time we're actually leaving state. Gonna head back by Minnesota.
Really?
Back over by family and my daughter, and
I see me with a good job, my own place again, possibly a business and homeowner. But until that day comes, I still keep on trying. I'm trying to get into school right now, find a job that will give me a chance to get my Class B and A license. Got to forego that wherever I'm at.
Right. That's going to go on.
Okay, my plan is to help as many people as I can every day, whether they need it or not. To forego my education, get a low menial job till something better comes along. Still try to get my business loan and the equipment, or the equipment and trucks, vehicles and everything, and take it from there. But it doesn't mean I give up just because somebody tells me no.
Oh, I figure it's going to take me at least a month, or if not longer. I mean, it's going to take a little while. Rent's pretty expensive here compared to working. So, so you got to just stash that money away. And that's what I have to remember. It doesn't matter what it takes me. I'm doing the right thing. And I have to just remember to stay positive every day.
Save up some money from this job. Probably put in for a transfer. Move to a more cheaper area. Probably out of state. Get married. Get my kids into my life a little bit more. Probably have another kid. And just live life comfortably. Not using or drinking.
What are your plans
Yeah.
and goals?
I mean, unfortunately here it's kind of limited. There's not a lot of media opportunities, so I've kind of given up on that already. And I just got to start making money. Probably day laboring. Just doing labor ready type stuff, which I've done before. And make money, get out to a more media savvy place. I'm thinking East Coast, Boston, not New York. I hate New York. Washington. Maybe LA or San Diego. I don't know. Somewhere where there's a lot more happening.
Can I ask what your education level is?
Yeah, I've got a master's degree in education, and my bachelor's is in English.
There's been laughing, there's been crying, there's been good, there's been bad, especially during the holiday season. And when I came here, I never expected, I had preconceived notions before I came here, I'll admit it, and I've been pleasantly surprised. I've been unpleasantly surprised at times, but ultimately I think it's enhanced and enriched my life experience.
Shelter's not a bad place. It's not the best, but you get what you get, and it works. It helps. If you make it work for you, it works out pretty good, and it's not too hard at all.
But do good anyway. Do good anyway. Give the world your best, falling short of their test. Always give your best anyway. In the end, you'll see this humble saint told me it was never between them and me anyway, but only for my God to see, a God who loves me anyway.
I heard you wrote a letter to President Obama.
Oh yes, I did, but I have not sent it yet because I still have to rewrite it so it'd be perfect.
Of course. What it's going to be? What's it going to be?
It's going to be about, because America's in 16 trillion debt to other countries. So I was thinking about what would be a solution for all that money. So yeah, I wrote it in a letter.